Hi, this is the fourth video in a series. The first was about the mystery of suffering, then who are we, and then all about human values. So this video is a very interesting one because all of us know that there are myriads and myriads of thoughts and feelings and experiences happening to us all the time, and in fact often we have to make a lot of choices because we have different energies taking us in different places, and one thing will say go and do this, and something within us will say go and do that, and we've got to make choices of what to do. And what's actually quite fascinating is to understand what are these energies inside us, where do they come from, why do they conflict, and what's the purpose and meaning of it all. So I hope in this video that I can explain something of that. Now, there are many different ways to analyze this wonderful, amazing experience of being, of consciousness, of awareness, of experience that we have as human beings. And many beings and people have tried over the years to discuss this and think about it. And personally, I find the system of yoga the most clear for me. So I'll use that. For me, it simplifies things greatly. And one of the great statements of yoga, and of course this exists in other philosophies, is this statement that there are many different energy levels within us, and they're related to what the yogis called chakras. And chakras are centers of energy, and many of us believe they vortexes of energy. So they connect us to the different worlds, the different experiences of the cosmos, and we include everything. We are the cosmos. This is the great gift of being human, that everything exists within us. And in particular, they've simplified it, the yogis have simplified it to 7 chakras. And we have a base chakra, a sexual and creativity chakra, an energy chakra in our solar plexus, our heart chakra, of course. Then there's a chakra in our throat called the Vishuddhi chakra, which really has our abilities and skills. And then we have one very complex chakra within our head, within our brain, and it's not a simple thing. Some people refer to it as a third eye, but my experience is it's a very sophisticated, wonderful creation that's within us. And then above our heads there's another chakra, and it's depicted in many pictures as a halo, and in some cases a somewhat like a lotus flower above our heads. And I've had the privilege of seeing it. I saw it many years ago above the head of one of my friends, and it is what they term the 1,000-petaled lotus. It's moving, it's very dynamic, the colours are changing, and it's sort of made of flames. There are flames on the outside which are large and moving and dynamic, and the flames get smaller and smaller towards the head of the flower of this chakra. And so how do we see things like that? Well, my experience is that the chakra within our head is dormant generally amongst us, and it needs to be awakened, and there are various exercises we can do to awaken the chakra, and yoga has many ways. There's a great saint of yoga called Patanjali. if you look him up, you'll see that he had 8 steps in yoga to help us awaken ourselves and become enlightened. I can tell you a very, very simple process is to breathe through your nose. That sounds very funny, but breathing through your nose will help enliven your third eye. And I'd encourage you, if you can, to breathe in and out through your nose and feel what's happening inside your brain as you breathe in. Very wonderful experience. Anyway, there's 7 primary chakras that yoga speaks of, and my experience is that they connect us to these different worlds of consciousness. And if we look at life, the structure of life and how life has progressed within our understanding within the historical boundaries, we have very, very simple forms of life that started, for example, bacteria and viruses, and they in fact came out of the first chakra, it's called the Muladhara chakra in Sanskrit. Some of us refer to it as the base chakra, and it's the energy center that connects us to our mother, the earth. There are a lot of unseen energies around us, and one of them is a huge vortex of energy that comes out of our mother and enters our bodies at the base chakra, which is at our cervix, at the bottom of our spine. And it powers us. It powers us magnificently, this energy. It's called Kundalini. So the Kundalini is a gift from our mother, and it rises up through the different chakras and enlivens them. And to be human, it's considered that the human state is with 3.5 chakras enlivened. Hence, when you look in ancient scripts of India, you'll see a coiled snake, which has got 3.5 coils. Well, the meaning of that is that the state of being human means that your lower chakra has been opened with the Kundalini, your sexuality chakra is active, your energy chakra is active, and half of your heart, not the full quality of heart, but a certain part of it. Excuse me. So the mind of the human being is a lovely, lovely image that yoga paints, and that is that all of the power that's within us comes from within our heart. Very different from, the Western sort of mechanistic, intellectual, medical model, which says that the mind resides in the brain. In the Vedas and yoga, the center of awareness and consciousness is in the heart, and it's compared to the sun, and the mind is compared to the moon. So if you think of the sun and the moon, the sun is the creator of the energy and creator of light, and in this case creator of awareness and wisdom, and it reflects off the moon, the surface of the moon. And in fact, that's our awareness is that reflection generally. Our everyday awareness, we wake up in the morning, have breakfast, and, get into what we have to do during the day. Now, the mind connects to these 7 chakras, and I'm sure it's much more sophisticated than that, but let's keep it simple just for this explanation. Let's say the mind connects to the 7 chakras, and it's a loop, so that we get information coming out of the chakras, which can be processed in our mind and in our consciousness, and then we send information back to that chakra to innovate it or create action or movement or feeling or emotion, so that there's this loop between each chakra. And so the different feelings and energies that we get during the day come from the different chakras, right? And that's why you get discontinuity sometimes, because the consciousness of each of these chakras is very different. The consciousness of the base chakra is extremely low. Everything is good. It all needs balance. You know, this definition of good and evil is really not really accurate. What is a much better definition is balance, in that when some part of the universe is used appropriately and in its right place. Let's look at the base chakra, for example, to show how it can be used for what people might say good or evil. It's used to sort of create the energy of the body so that we can stand up, so we can do things, that we can move. And this is a good thing, you know, that we can do things. However, if that same energy is misused, it's used by the other chakras for us to do actions that are not so good. For example, the energy of the base chakra is yes or no, on or off, black or white. There's no sort of in between, right? It's atomic energy. It's the energy of the atomic world. And say someone is influenced by their base chakra inappropriately, they'll want money, like we all do. You know, we all want money. But if our mind is influenced by the base chakra, it will want money under any circumstance. So it'll do anything to get money. And this is where, for example, someone will rob a bank or kill someone or hurt someone or steal. It's when they're being influenced by the very lowest chakra in an inappropriate way. And the mind is being influenced, and then the other chakras are going along for the ride. And there's also a model in philosophy that says that the soul, the being, the center of us, should be in control, and all these other forces should be our servants. And unfortunately it's not the case, because we are controlled, unfortunately, by our bodies. You know, we do things. We eat excessively, for example. I mean, it's one problem that I've had is that, you know, I'm somewhat overweight because I'm not in control of, you know, fully in control of that chakra that wants food, for example. But I can discipline it, you know, I can go on a diet, which I have, and I've had a fair bit of success recently. So we term discipline, but it's actually appropriate control of the lower chakras. And what I hope you're getting from this video is that you can now start to understand why you have these many I's, you know, the letter I, within us. You know, there are many messages coming through from within us. Do this, do that, don't do this, go there, do this. You know, because we're getting all these messages from these different worlds, from these different chakras. And the appropriate way to behave, I believe, is through correct human values. So, you know, if we get a message to do something, in this case rob a bank, because we want some money, you say, is it truthful? No. Is it unconditionally loving? No. Is it virtuous, helping people? No. It's only selfish, right? Is it peaceful? No, it's not peaceful. Is it non-violent? No, absolutely not. So we can use these human values to sort of measure whether behavior is appropriate. And I think that's how we can, you know, decide to act, is through using good values. So it takes away the, you know, this great uncertainty we have. excuse me, of action when we have all these different ways to move. And you'll find that through meditation and through good behavior and through helping others, you actually improve your psychic being, and the kundalini, this energy from our mother, slowly goes up the chakras and opens them. They get opened and they become awake and aware, and then you start to have experiences. And it's a wonderful model because it's been designed to run itself. I mean, if we some of us believe in the concept of God, I very much know that God exists. I experience God. Yeah, so it's a wonderful model that the universe is in its entirety, in that it runs itself. So it's been designed through these major laws to unfold automatically. And so with us and with our behavior, our actual actions create our futures. So there's another lovely little thing that I created called A Little Story, which you'll find on a website called Blurb, BLURB.com. If you look up A Little Story by Solahin Millin, which is my name, it explains these laws that how the universe operates. And so, in fact, while we can travel, forwards and backwards in time and space, it's always changing. The recording is always changing, and it's utterly dynamic. The whole thing is totally dynamic. So the future, you could say, yes, it is set, and no, it isn't set, because the future changes depending on our actions. So it's this wonderful model that unfolds by itself. So if you are on a path to enlightenment, it's through your actions and through your thoughts and through your feelings and the grace that comes to you from the Lord, the great creator of the universe, that allows you to have experiences. And the experiences come and go as they wish. We're not in control. This is something that's given to us by the universe. So I can just, suggest to you, with all these many eyes that we have within our being, that we try to measure what we're going to do next by asking the questions, does it fulfill the human values? So, in my case, I use the values of, is it truthful? Is it unconditionally loving? Is it virtuous? In other words, going to be useful and helpful? Is it peaceful? And is it non-violent? And if it, whatever we're going to do fits those criteria, then I think it's fairly safe for us to do it. And in fact, in my opinion, we wouldn't need any laws. We wouldn't need any what's termed morality. We wouldn't need anything, because our actions would be in line with the universe. They'd be appropriate, they'd be balanced, they'd be caring and loving. And so we will create the golden age, which is coming now, that our intellects have opened in a very fiery and difficult time. But now many of us, the majority of the human beings, the intellect is open, so we're able to analyze and understand life and make better decisions. So we're moving out of this chaotic, terrible time into the most beautiful time, and we're all part of it. So I just encourage you to journey in a aware and perceptive way through all the energies and feelings that are within us, and to understand that they come from different levels and different places in the universe and different energies, and to know that the great gift of being human is that we're connected to all of these levels of consciousness and energy, and that we should discipline certain levels of energy to, generally philosophers would say the body. They talk about the body, so they talk about the spirit and the body. So we need to discipline our bodies and use the body appropriately as a vehicle for the higher self, and to achieve wonderful things in this experience. So I hope if you do hear voices inside you, or obviously we all have these different thoughts and feelings, don't worry about it, because that's all these different energies that are inside us, and we just need to know how to manage them, how to control them. And just use the 5 human values as your guide. It's also said that in this age it's very, very, very easy to reach enlightenment, and the reason for that is it's such a dark age. So the universe is always balanced. So there's the heap of darkness, as I'm sure you know, and there's a heap of light, and you can choose which one do you want to follow, the darkness or the light. And so if you keep your focus on the light, on trying to do the right thing, it's very easy for us nowadays to become enlightened and to become better people and beings, and to improve the world. So I'm very optimistic. We might go through a few bumps and hiccups on the way, but we're on the way to a wonderful time. And just hope that this information is helpful for you. So thanks very much for watching and listening, and if you've got any comments, please leave them, and I'd love to keep in touch. Okay.